Hello everyone, my name is Tim, and today I'm going to be going over one of my favorite companies, AMD. I use them in my computer for my CPU and my GPU. I believe strongly in the company, so I'm going to be reviewing their financials, their stock performance, and also going over their options in the stock market. So if you like the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. It greatly helps out my channel, and hope you have a great day. AMD, better known as Advanced Micro Devices, operates a semiconductor company worldwide. They were founded in 1969 and their headquarters is in Santa Clara, California. They have between 11 and 12,000 employees, and their CEO right now is Lisa Su. They have two main product lines that they create. They create central processing units, or CPUs, that are used in desktops, laptops, and gaming systems such as the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox. And they also create graphics processor units, or GPUs. Right now, their main competitor on the CPU side is Intel, and their main competitor on the GPU side is NVIDIA. This is the stock chart for AMD. As you can see right now, over the last 5 years, they have increased their stock price exponentially. Back in February and January of 2016, their stock was worth about $1.50 roughly. And then if you go to their stock price now, they are in the low 90s, around 92.79 as of right now. Over the past 5 years, they've gained 4,493.56%. Over the last year, they have gained 80.42% in their stock price, and that's pretty good over the last year, though it did drop in March of 2020 down to about $38 over the last 6 months, and they are up 62.4%. And then over the last 3 months, they are up 16.86%. Over the last month, they are down 0.48%. And then just over the last 5 days, they are up 1.88%. So their revenues for the last several years, starting in December 2015, you can see here this is at 3,991,000,000, and then it increases gradually until over the trailing 12 months, it is right now at 8,646,000,000. They have a cost of revenue over the trailing 12 months of 4,801,000,000. So they have a gross profit of $3,845,000,000 right now. That is the gross profit for expenses are taken out. So going over the operating expenses, their selling, general, and admin expenses come to, over the trailing 12 months, to $893 million. Their R&D expenses comes to $1,805,000,000. And so their total operating expenses is $2,698,000,000, bringing their net profit to $1,147,000,000 over the trailing 12 months. AMD has 1.2 billion shares currently in the stock market available for investors to, and their valuation is a market cap at last close of 111.73 billion, an enterprise value of 110.53 billion, and PE ratio of 125.66, which does say that right now it appears that AMD could be overvalued. I'm not saying that it is, but just based on the PE ratio, it could be. Though depending on how their CPU and GPU sales go over the next few years, that PE ratio might change. They have a price to book ratio of 28.84. And right now I am on Robinhood, so you can see on this chart, this is what the stock price did during the last operating day on Friday, January 22nd of 2021. It stayed in the high 93, low 94s to where right now it's in the mid 92s. Has a dividend, though 50% of experts do say it is a buy stock, considering it is most likely to go up instead of down. But again, I am not a financial expert or a professional, and I am not telling you to invest or not invest into AMD. This is simply a pure analysis of their financials, the company as a whole, and also going over their options. You can lose money as well as make money in the stock market, so I always have to give that disclaimer. Even though AMD is not a dividend company, there is a good way with options to still make a profit. For instance, if you already have 100 shares, what you can do is the wheel strategy, where you sell calls somewhere where you don't think the stock price is going to go to before the expiration, which in this case right now is January 29th of 2021. So if you were to go up to this area here, you could sell one of these calls if you already have 100 shares. I do not recommend selling or buying any naked options, and it does not end well, and there is a lot of risk involved in that, so I do not recommend doing it. I recommend either doing a covered call, a poor man's covered call, or a spread option. So right now I'm just going over, if you have 100 shares, then you could sell like this option here for $105. It is a call. So if the stock price were to go from the $92.91 up to $105, then you would be obligated to sell 100 shares to the buyer at $105, which you would be making profit off of that. And plus, by selling the premium, you would get the 99 cents times 100, because options are in 100 share increments. So that means you would get $99 for selling this option. And if it doesn't get to $105, then you get to keep that $99 and your shares at the same time. There is another option you can do, which is called a poor man's covered call. One way to do that is by going to buy a call, and then you change the expiration date to very far out in the future, like say here, January of 2023. This does require more capital. You will need to have enough money in your account in order to be able to afford to do this. But for instance, you could do a call that's way in the money and way into the future. For instance, if you wanted to buy the stock, if it dropped down to $45, you could buy this option, and you would have to have collateral of $5,300, because again, that's at $53 times 100 at a $45 strike price expiring January 20th of 2023. So you would need that amount of money in your account. So that would basically act as 100 shares, because it is a 0.9032 delta, which means it is basically the same as 90 shares. And then you can use that to leverage. So in order to make a profit off of that, you would then go to a sooner date that has a quicker expiration. For instance, say again, January 29th. So if you were to buy that option in 2023 for $5,300, you could then sell a call, again, like I mentioned before, for instance, at the $105 strike price for the $99 premium, which you would get to keep. And that is a pretty safe bet also. Another option that you can do is called a credit spread. So you can do a call credit spread or a put credit spread. Basically what that means is you're going to be buying a call or a put and then selling one at a different strike price that expires on the same day. For instance, if you are fairly confident that it is not going to go, let's say for instance, above $100, you could sell the $100 strike price one, and you will receive a credit of $1.81, which times 100 means you would get $181. But then you also still have to buy the one above it, so you don't get to keep the whole $181. You would actually only keep $22 of it. So this is a slower profit than any other method that I've talked about so far, but it does require the least amount of capital. For instance, this credit spread here, if you were to only do one contract, it would only cost you $100 in collateral because there's only $1 difference in the strike prices, and times 100, that's $100. If you're to increase the difference between the strike prices, that would increase the amount of collateral that you would need. You can do the same thing with puts. If you don't think the company is going to go down a certain point, so instead of calls, you would select puts. And then, for instance, if you don't think that the company is going to go lower than $85, you would sell the $85 strike price and then buy and buy. For instance, the $84, you would receive a credit of $17, and this would be a fairly safe bet. Though there is always the risk and option that the stock could go all the way down, in which case you would need to either close the option before it gets to the expiration date. You would need to roll over into the next week or next month or whatever you want to do. So those are some good ways that you can profit from owning the AMD stock or trading in AMD options without actually owning the stock. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you found it informative and helpful in making your decision about this company, AMD. And don't forget, if you liked the video, to hit the like and subscribe button down below. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you and have a great day.